A Boy's Lost Paradise. In the year 2000, Omot, a young Anyuak child, lived in the Vaden Gambela area of Ethiopia in an idyllic simple life. His days were spent in the breathtaking grandeur of the natural world, rejoicing in the carefree joy of childhood. The Gambela region was a wildlife haven with lush sceneries, cradled along the banks of the Openo River. Nestled among an acacia tree forest, Omot's house was a traditional Anyuak hut made of thatch and mud. His family was one of the majority of Anyuak that relied on farming, fishing, and herding for their existence. Omot's days were devoted to touring the area's vastness. With a sense of amazement and thrill in his heart, Omot would travel into the adjacent woodlands. He cherished the excitement of playing with his buddies, the rush of scaling trees, and the joy of catching fish in the Openo River. They would construct forts, engage in games, and just spend time together. The people of Gambela appreciated nature and its abundance and coexisted peacefully with the land. Through festivals, rituals, and traditional dances, they honored their culture. Omot's happy and contented life is evidence of the uncomplicated beauty of country living. Fishing on the Openo River was one of Omot's favorite past activities. He would wait patiently for a fish to take his bait for hours on end while seated on the riverbank. He got a thrill and a sense of pride when he caught a fish. He would frequently gift his friends or family what he had caught. Omot's family had a close relationship with their forefathers. During the evening, they would frequently get together by the fire to sing and tell stories from the past. These tales were passed down from one generation to the next, protecting the Anyuak people's unique cultural legacy. Omot experienced a period of awe and innocence as a child. The affection of his family and the splendor of nature surrounding him. He had no idea of the problems his town would shortly face. The tranquility of Gambela would be destroyed in 2003 by a horrific massacre. Thousands of people would be killed and displaced in a vicious campaign of violence directed on the Anyuak people. Omot's carefree upbringing will end tragically and abruptly. The year 2003 marked a turning point in Omot's life. The peaceful existence he had known in Gambela was shattered by the brutal massacre of his people. Fear gripped the community as violence erupted, turning neighbors against each other. Omot's parents, desperate to protect their children, made the difficult decision to flee. They packed a few essentials, including a small bundle of their belongings and their most prized possessions. As night fell, they slipped away under the cover of darkness, joining a stream of refugees heading towards the border with South Sudan. The journey was arduous. They walked for days, their feet blistered and their bodies weary. Hunger gnawed at their stomachs, and thirst became a constant companion. Along the way, they witnessed the horrors of war, bodies strewn across the landscape, villages reduced to smoldering ruins. Despite the hardships, Omot's parents remained determined. They knew that their survival depended on reaching the safety of South Sudan. With each step, they carried the weight of their hopes and dreams, praying for a brighter future. Finally, after what seemed like an eternity, they reached the border. Crossing it was a perilous undertaking, but they had no choice. With the help of sympathetic locals, they managed to evade the watchful eyes of the soldiers and slipped into South Sudan. After a couple days of rest, they made their way to Kenyan border into Kenya. In Kenya, Omot and his family found refuge in a refugee camp. It was a stark contrast to the life they had known in Gambela, but it was a place where they could at least feel safe. They lived in a simple shelter made of mud and sticks, sharing their meager rations with other displaced people. As time passed, Omot began to adjust to his new life. He made friends with other children in the camp and learned to speak the local language. He also attended school, where he was taught basic literacy and numeracy skills. Although Omot's childhood was forever changed by the massacre in Gambela, he never forgot his roots. He carried the memories of his homeland with him, a constant reminder of the violence he had endured. But he also held on to the hope that one day he would be able to return home and rebuild his life. After several years in the Kenya refugee camp, Omot's family was selected for resettlement in the United States. The news filled them with hope and excitement, offering a chance for a new beginning. The journey to the United States was long and arduous. They traveled by plane and bus, crossing vast oceans and continents. The cultural shock was immense, as Omot and his family were exposed to a world vastly different from the one they had left behind. Upon arriving in the United States, Omot and his family were placed in a refugee resettlement program. They were assigned a caseworker who helped them navigate the complexities of their new life. They were given housing, food assistance, and access to medical care. Despite the challenges they faced, Omot and his family were determined to make a new life for themselves. They enrolled in English language classes, worked hard to learn the customs and traditions of their new home, and embraced the opportunities that the United States offered. Omot quickly realized that education was the key to his future. He excelled in school, earning good grades and participating in extracurricular activities. He dreamed of becoming a doctor, inspired by the medical professionals who had helped him and his family during their time in the refugee camp. With the support of his family and community, Omot achieved his dream of attending medical school. He graduated with honors and became a successful doctor, specializing in internal medicine. He worked tirelessly to help patients from all walks of life, drawing on his own experiences to provide compassionate care. Omot never forgot his roots. He remained connected to the Anyuak community, advocating for their rights and raising awareness of the challenges they faced. He also worked to promote peace and reconciliation in Gambela, Ethiopia, hoping to help rebuild the country that had been torn apart by violence. Omot's journey from a refugee camp in Kenya to a successful doctor in the United States was a testament to the power of resilience, determination, and the human spirit. His story is a reminder that even in the face of adversity, it is possible to overcome challenges and achieve one's dreams. Thank you for listening.